everybody. I'm Michelle Pacheco, and today I'm here with Dan Brule, my all-time teacher, friend, master of breath work, whom I've known for about 17 years now, and with whom I am delighted to continue to work, to learn, to practice from breathing techniques. And I'm very happy to announce that he will return to Romania this spring, more precisely May 22nd through May 31st. And we'll have a very special program as an anniversary program. We started in 2012 or 11, actually, for the first time. So every year, Dan was here for twice a year, actually. This past year, in 2025, he was actually so busy that he was able to come only once to Romania, and we are very happy to have this program again in May. Dan is now in a beautiful Cabo San Luca. As you can see, this beautiful image behind him. It's real, by the way. And I would like to invite Dan as a traveler because he was in more than 65 countries by now in his
77.
77. Okay, the number is going up. In 55 years, more or less, then he's teaching breath work. And he's taught people all over the world. He was himself studying with many masters of different types of breathing techniques, and he developed his own style that I personally believe it's great. That's the reason I continue to work with Dan and practice myself every day of my life. So that being said, I would like to give Dan the floor to tell you a little bit about what was he up to this past year since we saw him last April. Where have you been, Dan? What did you do? What's new in your world?
Yeah. Well, I was in 15 countries since the last time I was in Romania, and been to a couple of new countries, Thailand, Bali. My calendar is so full. I'm really blessed. I have so many invitations, so many opportunities. I'm going to have to learn by location pretty soon if I'm going to keep up. But it gives me a chance to pick and choose. I have so many options, and so I like going to places that I'm particularly interested in and hanging out with people that I really enjoy. So I'm really looking forward to getting back to Romania. And yeah, a lot of countries, a lot of stuff online. Our online courses. Actually, we just launched my Breath and Beyond course, which is about spiritual breathing, and so really excited about that. It's been a long time in creation and production, and planning my next India trip, August 18th to September 18th. This coming up this year. Really excited about that. We had our 20th annual Cabo Breathwork gathering this past January. We filled up the hall. We overbooked the hotel. We had 15, 16 presenters from around the world, promoting or presenting their own style, their own school, their own methods. And so that was a huge success and a lot of fun. Very life-changing. So I'm celebrating constantly. The world is ready for breath work, and the results are so unarguable and so amazing that it's especially needed this time with what's going on in the world. Wow, there's this expression in the special forces world called VUCA, VUCA, and it's an acronym that stands for volatile, uncertain, chaotic, and ambiguous. And special forces are trained to perform in that VUCA world. But the whole world is like that. I mean, God, what's happening? Things are intensifying, wars, and you name it. So more than ever, we need to find that source inside of us. We need to find our own North Star. We have to be able to tell who's telling the truth, who's not, what's real, what's not. And the only way to do that is to connect to our own inner wisdom, our own higher self. And breath work is the direct path to that. So I'm not surprised that as things get crazier and crazier in the world, more and more people are waking up to the breath. It's a very natural kind of organic evolution. When you're going through change, when you're in the middle of change or preparing for change or recovering from change, then breath is the main tool and the main force to help us to navigate, to prepare, to recover, to absorb, to integrate. And these days are transformation. And I think everybody's feeling it. Little adjustments are not enough anymore. We need to make some big changes in our politics, in our education, in our finances, in our governments. But those changes on those levels are so difficult to make, to try to change an institution. But internal changes, personal changes, those are huge. And those are the ones that we have complete control over. And so for those people who are really sincere about waking up, about showing up at their best, about healing and growth and awakening, then the breath is waiting for you. And it's my job. And thanks to you, we get to teach and to help and support as many people as possible. So.
Yes, then I have to say that I am. I cannot believe myself that this program that we do in Romania, it's running for so many years, and how much it is needed. Because I have to say, sometimes people ask this question: how long do I have to do this? And the question is forever. And people think sometimes, and I know why, because there are so many courses, there are so many workshops, seminars, all sorts of things going on in the world in the past couple of years, maybe 15, 20 years more than ever. And I know many people that like to take a class of some sort, and they say, okay, I did this, and they put a check mark on their list. I did this, I did this, I did this. And then they come to breath work and they say, how long do I need to practice this? And I say, forever. I practice this every day, all the time, 24 hours a day, as I walk on the street since I met Dan. Yes, I have to admit, and those for people that are looking at us, in the beginning, it took me some time too to remember to breathe in a certain way when I need it for a certain reason, for fear, anxiety, too much thinking, too much of this or the other. But practicing this in time, setting the intent to integrate breathing in my life, now I don't even have to think about it. There are certain things that they are just happening, and people observe me doing something and they ask me, are you okay? Why do you do this? Why do you sigh? So that's what I need to it's a point that I feel that it's important for people to understand, that it's something you take away with you and you practice. And if you are in Romania, it's easy. If you are from Europe somewhere, join us. But especially if you're in Romania, take advantage of this. Dan is coming to Romania. You don't have to travel abroad. You don't have to go to Mexico. You don't have to go to Thailand. You can go if you wish, and if you can, absolutely, don't miss the opportunity. But Dan is going to be here in your country. So when this
what's really cool too is that the program that we're planning, it's for brand new people who've never done anything, and it's for people with a lot of experience. I mean, I keep starting over myself. I think it's really important to start over, to begin with a Zen mind and this innocence, and recreate and reinvent and start again from the beginning. And that's how we get higher and higher. That's how we actually advance more, is by returning to the basics. And so just in this past year, we've uncovered, developed some really new, powerful breathing hacks, new techniques, new exercises, new meditations, and they build and they compound on the things that we've already mastered. So, yeah, what we plan in Romania is actually pretty unique compared to a lot of the other trainings that I'm doing, because we are talking about totally new people and beginning from scratch, and we're also going to be touching on the most advanced, the latest, the most current, cutting edge practices. And I love how you've organized it, because we're going to do some stuff in the city, we're going to do a weekend, we're going to do an evening, and then we're going to do that powerful 4-day skills training out in the country. And I hear we might play in hot water, we might visit the salt mines there. There's some really beautiful places in nature that we can breathe. So we're going to bring it all together. It's going to be genuinely transforming. And so I'm really looking forward to it, because it's I basically teach the same thing everywhere I go. I'm a missionary for the breath, and I don't think people can be reminded often enough that you're breathing all the time, but you can take that to a new level, the level of an art, and you can use your breath to fulfill all the ancient promises of the mystics and the yogis and the saints and the gurus. The breathing is the key to really realizing all that potential and achieving all those extraordinary states. And if you immerse yourself into the process for a few days, amazing things happen. It cannot not happen. So I'm really psyched about the end of May. It's really a big high point on my calendar.
Then we were very interesting what you said, because the point that I experience with people is, as you said, no matter where you are in your life, no matter how many times you practice with Dan or with someone else breathing techniques, it's not that you learn everything and it's done. Dan is traveling so much and is working with people so much. And I know one fact that I'm going to say it now. When you are teaching people a skill that you have and you develop such as Dan did it, it's not like he knows everything and he's gonna do it over and over and over again. I have to say that I know Dan for so many years. Every time I see him, I notice that he improves something in himself too. It's like he's learning from his own work. He's learning working with people. And this is what's happening with all of us. We become better as we go, as we work. And I know for a fact, because of my own practice of everything that I do, breathing, meditation, all the workshops that I do, I look at myself and I'm not the same person that I was teaching something 5, 7 years, 10 years ago. I look at myself and I know I'm different. And I look at Dan and I see he is different he's better because he's practicing every day of his life, and every time he's taking his work in the world, wherever he goes. So don't think that you've learned everything. And one more thing that I would like to touch on, and maybe Dan you can develop on this a little bit more, how we do all sorts of work with ourselves. Emotions come up, especially in these times, during this crazy times that we live in. People are talking about the planet Earth raising frequency, and everybody's becoming more aware. Consciousness is different than it was 50 years ago, 100 years ago. We are new beings. But this whole thing comes with a process of freeing our mind of programming, of old illusions, of old beliefs, of old emotions that got stuck, patterns of being, of thinking that we should feel or not to feel. And because of this, it's like a war between our emotions and our mind, and everything comes out. And I think this is the best time to continue to work with this beautiful, simple, and complex technique in the same time. So What would you say about that?
Yeah, well, it comes down to actually doing the work. That there's no way around it, and so we need to be motivated to actually change. We would like the world to change. We'd like other people to change, but the only change that's real is what we create in ourselves. And the breath is so powerful that when you practice, and if you practice, the benefits are guaranteed. That's really, you can't say that about too many things, but the breath is our very life force, and the way we breathe is the way we live. And as you unlock potential in your breath, you unlock potential in yourself. I mean, everybody who's practicing is reporting the same thing you are. You can't help but see yourself change and grow and evolve and get less reactive and get more creative and get more intuitive. It just naturally comes with the practice. And so that's why we're doing this. We just got to give people a space and a time and an opportunity to really practice so they can take away what they need and then continue on their own. And then when we loop back around, like in Romania, I think I've come to Romania every year, twice a year for many years for the last 15, 16, 17 years. And you see the people actually grow so much, they fly off and they invent new lives and new relationships and new jobs and new practices. And yet they come back around, because when you breathe, it's like drinking from a well deep inside of you. And everybody's really thirsty for that in the world today. And so to have a direct access through the breath to these really beautiful resources that we're born with but don't always get developed, it's a gift. It's a blessing. And I love that I get to play a part in when people, you know, discover some power, some force, some energy in themselves that they sort of knew they had, they felt they had, but they really have the powerful experience through breathing. So that's why I'm a missionary for the breath.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then more and more universities and institutes and people that are doing research and scientists, they all come up with articles and papers and researches about the importance of breath work, which is amazing because we didn't have all this research and 20 years ago. So now every month there is another article, another paper about this, the importance of breath.
And there's
So
another confirmation too. I mean, I love to have these conversations, but it's always nice to get people to practice, actually do breathing. So, for example, one of the studies recently this year was from Stanford University on this practice of cyclical sighing. No training necessary, no teacher required. And I challenge everybody who's listening right now to just spend 5 minutes. You give yourself a nice long inhale, a big sigh of relief, and then do it again. And then do it again. And the science is unarguable. 5 minutes of that has more benefits than any meditation technique they've studied, better than any anxiety or stress coping method that they've studied. A simple sigh of relief done consciously and exaggerated one after another for 5 minutes, it'll change your whole day. It changes your entire inner world. It changes, colors light up around you. Things that are bothering you evaporate. It's remarkable. And people owe it to themselves to actually try it and do it and experience it for themselves. And if you get that much benefit out of something so simple, imagine what you can get if you spend a week or 4 days or a weekend really digging down. So there's a challenge for everybody. 5 minutes. Just give yourself one beautiful sigh of relief after the other. Nothing else required. Although, if while you're breathing in, if you can imagine something beautiful, something uplifting, something nurturing, if you can repeat some beautiful, powerful affirmation, then you're going to turbocharge this simple sigh of relief. And if during the exhale, you relax your jaw, you relax your neck, you relax your shoulders, you let go, then this turns into an extraordinary, powerful, transformational healing method. And it's just a sigh of relief. So I'm encouraging everybody to do that. Set your watch 5 minutes. I dare you to take one sigh of relief after the other, very consciously, very deliberately, and watch and feel what happens inside of you and what's around you. People are going to notice, hey, you look like your eyes are sparkling. Wow, you look like you're kind of shining. What have you been doing? And you're going to have to tell them, you're not going to believe this. I just spent 5 minutes just taking one sigh of relief after the other because Stanford University Medical Center proved that it's amazing. There.
Oh, Dan, it's so funny that you're saying this. I remember that a few years back we had a retreat and you spent 2.5 weeks in Romania. We went in the mountains. We had different workshops together. So we came back to Bucharest and we had one more meeting or session before you left. And there were people looking at us, a couple of us that came to that last meeting, and they were looking at us and saying, "Why did you guys do? You look younger. You look like," because exactly from what you said, imagine that we spend time breathing, meditating, doing some beautiful trips in some highly energetical places in Romania. And it was amazing because every single person that saw us when we returned was saying the same thing. You look younger. It's exactly what you said. And there is a trick, people actually I would say, would have this feeling of being or looking younger and feeling younger. And I found that out because, and I try to explain that to myself, and you are a testimony to that. When you do this work, you're releasing stress. It's, of course, besides the fact that is your aura and your light and so on, your frequency that you vibrate and your energy, it's also the fact that releasing stress, your face, your whole body is your wrinkles, by the way, ladies out there, are generated mostly because of the stress in your face. All this facial mood, tension, that it's like engraving wrinkles in our face and the rest of the body, but the face is what we present to the world. So we can use the breathing as a great facial.
And this, and we all have this inner conflict in some way, on some level. And as we dissolve and resolve this inner conflict, the world gets more peaceful. I mean, inner peace leads to world peace, and it's a responsibility. So, breath work is really good for people who are already in the healing and helping and coaching and training professions, because they can find really creative ways to integrate it into what they already do and take what they do to a higher level. And so, this is about empowerment. And, people could read a book and learn a lot, but to carve out some time from your life, put some time aside and really practice something, it's just going to benefit you forever.
Yeah, you mentioned integrating breath work in other practices. I think it's wonderful. And I noticed that even people that I know, that they are not breath workers, but they are integrating certain techniques into their work, which I think it's amazing. And if any of those are listening to us now, I encourage them to come and work with you, because this is an opportunity to experience and learn and take from you the best techniques and take them to their own practice further and learn from that. Also, not to mention that the fact that you have those online programs that you are having available, and also you have a practitioner program where they can become certified in breath workers. And just to emphasize how important it is to do this practice online, but also not to miss the opportunity to do it live. It's a big difference. Of course, if you're in a remote area and you cannot access, it's understandable, or to continue to practice. But if you have the opportunity to come and work live, it's the best that you can. So yeah. Also, then we were talking a little earlier about what happens when people practice different techniques, like maybe regression, family constellations, or even people that are working with a psychologist, and they are going through those different type of sessions where a lot of emotions are coming out. Would you like to say how is helping to use the breathing techniques into releasing all that high emotions that they have to deal with following such practices?
Yeah, we can work out physical stuff, body work, emotional, psychological stuff, but there's always this energetic residue, which is actually the underlying thing. There's changes in our energy that evolve or then transform into emotional, psychological, and physical issues. And so when we do this work on those other levels, the little piece that's remaining is the breath, which causes the full cleansing, the complete release, the total integration. And sometimes it's the initial spark. So so breath work is right there poised as the spark that triggers emotional, psychological, and physical healing. And it's the thing that we use to really complete and integrate the healing and growth on all those other levels. And so that's why we build into the breathwork trainings, other processes and meditations and methods and pair processes and group processes and self-exploration processes. Because while you got the power of the breath working for you, what a good time to deal with really important issues in your life. And so, yeah, a lot of things like family constellations, the combination of breathwork and family constellations, like a marriage made in heaven. It's just ideal, the combination of the two. And that's true of a lot of other very, powerful modalities, psychotherapy and counseling and body work and gestalt and, all kinds of energetic and psychodrama and self-hypnosis, all of those other things, which really are powerful and work well. As soon as you integrate breathing into them or integrate them into your breathwork practice, oh my God, we take everything to a higher level, a deeper level.
Yes, I noticed this myself in working with certain people that they came to do, it doesn't matter what kind of session, that it was breathing, meditation, or a workshop that I did. And I noticed that they brought something with them. And as soon as we did a session of breathing together, they felt that they were able to release something that they carried a lot with them, and they didn't really know how to release it, because we become aware of things, but it was about releasing that energy of the energy of that specific emotion or emotions. Yeah, it's very interesting. Then I would like to ask you one other question. Do you think, I know the answer, but I need to ask for the others. Is breathwork targeted for a specific group or for anybody anywhere? And also, if you can touch on how is helping the breathwork for people that are more spiritual, or people that are maybe not interested about spiritual life, but they want to enhance their ability to function even in a corporation for their business, to thrive and to be better at what they do. Can you touch a little bit on this? Because sometimes people, they think that breathing is for people that don't know how to breathe or for those spiritual people.
No, I mean, people come to breath work, they're attracted to it, they apply it for physical health and well-being. If to recover, I mean, to get back up to healthy, if you're really struggling with physical illnesses and diseases and pain and so on, breath work is part of that journey to heal. And if you're already well, it's a way to start approaching optimum physical health and wellness and well-being. So people come to breathwork just for that purpose. They also come for psychological and emotional growth and healing. We all have psychological issues and emotional problems. And so to have a tool and to have a way to navigate them and to deal with this stuff and cope is so necessary and useful. And so physical healing and well-being, psychological, emotional health and well-being, just personal growth and self-improvement. That old adage, know thyself. And, growing and learning is a basic human need. We need to feel like we keep improving, that we keep getting better, we keep showing up better. And so self-improvement and personal growth, a lot of people come to breathwork exactly for that. Sports performance, you're not going to meet any peak athletes, any successful athletic or Olympics performers, sports, who don't use breath work. You are not going to find it. It's guaranteed that if you're the best in sports and athletics, it's because that you use your breath and you're conscious of your breath and you train your breathing. And professional work, corporate executives who need to command a room, who need to dominate, an arena, who have important presentations to make, who have to be convincing. They use breath to exert that power and to develop it in themselves. Everybody in the healing and helping professions, if you're a genuine healer and a helper, then you know that you need breathing for yourself. You're picking up other people's energy. You need to clear yourself. You need to be in a good space when you're with people. You need to be able to hold space. And breathing is how we do this. And if you're a healer and a helper, what you do for yourself using breath, you can naturally translate into something that you can coach and help your clients with. So healers and helpers, people in the creative fields, visual artists, performers, actors, public speakers, the sculptors, people in the creative world know that breathing is a source of creative energy. And finally, that last one is spirituality. That, why are we here? Where did I come from? Who am I? What is life? Those big sacred questions. Breathing opens us to those answers, and it guides us to the steps that we need to take to realize our heart's grandest desire and to become the best version of ourselves. So people don't come to breathing for one reason. They come to breathing for all kinds of reasons.
That's true, Dan. And I have to say, as you were talking about this, I have to say that last week I got a message on the call from a gentleman here in Romania. And he said, he was very nice, very sweet. He said, I'm a very simple person, but I found this book, your book. Dan Brule published his book also in Romania. For those of you who don't know, it's called Just Breathe. In Romanian is translated Respiră pur și simplu. And he said, I found this book. And he said, I want to come. So I read it and I loved it, but I realized that I still cannot do it on my own. I want to come for you to teach me how to breathe. And it was so beautiful to see that this man was honest. He said, I'm simple. I didn't do any practice. I don't know any technique. I found this and I feel that is incredible. So I encourage everybody that if you didn't read Dan's book, purchase the book. You can find it in anywhere in stores. You can order it, but read it. Look through it.
That's a really natural thing. That's very wise of that guy, because yeah, we need to do our own work, but wow, things accelerate when you connect to other people who are doing the same work, and when you can get the support of a coach or someone who also is practicing. That's so valuable,
Yeah.
and that's true of every area of performance. I don't care if you're the best weightlifter in the world. Guess what? You hang around with other weightlifters. You get advice from other weightlifters. You exchange ideas. You train together, and that's true of absolutely everything,
Yeah.
including spirituality and healing and psychotherapy and everything. So, yeah, if you're working on your own and then you come and you practice in a group, you're going to take your personal practice to a really it accelerates and it raises our capacities, definitely.
Yes, and I had some of my friends, brothers, and sisters in the spiritual world that they come and they do breath work because another work that I do, I always include a bonus day or a bonus evening breathing session, because I know if they didn't try it before that, that will be an opportunity for them to experience it. And everybody said that it improved their ability to meditate, to clear their mind. It improved their ability to kind of connect, to have a clear space, as they say, to be able to figure out, to receive information, to be more telepathic, or to clear their head. So those of you that are spiritual and you do high work, complex work, you know what I mean. You need sometimes to have that, to distance yourself from the thoughts of what's happening in the world in order to have clear and to connect, how you say, to become more aware, to connect to higher consciousness. You can't while you are here. So then
the path of breath mastery is a path of raising and expanding consciousness. It's not an accident. And, there's a lot of stuff. Most people have a lot of junk trapped in their nervous system, fear and old traumas and pains and unexpressed communications and unresolved issues, and it clogs up our filters. So we can't tune into subtle energy. We can't get the guidance that we need from our own inner source because of the junk that's trapped in our nervous system and the tension that's trapped in our body. And breath work clears that out. So we reconnect with ourselves and we reconnect with natural abilities that we have. And breath work actually is really only appealing to people who are on a spiritual path. Ultimately, respiration, inspiration, expiration, spirit is the root of that word. And whether people know it or not, their deepest motivation for breath work is the spiritual aspect, whether they're conscious of it or not. Breath is spirit, literally. And the more you breathe, the more awake and alive you become, and the more you remember and return to who you are. So, oh, absolutely. That's exactly how this works. It's not an accident that breath work has been the leading trend in wellness globally for over 10 years, voted over 10 years in a row, the leading trend in wellness globally. That's because it's the tool of our time. It's the method of our day. It's exactly what's required. And life and nature made sure that it popped up just when it's needed the most. And spirit is taking people like me and you and picking us up by the scruff of our neck and throwing us around the world to make sure that people keep waking up to what's literally right under our nose that we overlook and underestimate and take for granted. But as soon as we give it a little bit of attention and we practice a little bit, everything starts moving and changing in our lives in a beautiful way. I don't see any exceptions to that ever. So
yes, Dan, many people that I talk to, they brush it off in the past. They say, oh, it's just breathing, because it looks like it's so simple. I'm already breathing. What somebody else can teach me how to breathe? I am already breathing. And sometimes when I see, you cannot force, of course, anybody to do something if they don't want to do it. But sometimes, even with friends and family, I felt like I want to grab them and scream, how can nobody can, like, you can hear me? Try it. You need to experience it, because once that you experience it, and you said something so beautiful there, that breathing is spirit. When you start working a little bit and you give yourself permission to abandon yourself in the energy that the breathing exercise creates around you, it's like you melt into everything and you become aware that you're not just your body, that you're connected with everything. And now, more so, people talk about we are interconnected, we are connected to electromagnetic field, my field, your field, we are one field. And the breath work, that's why I'm saying it helps you understand, bring from a mental to a physical and experience through your body and emotions with the energy that connects us just to that. And it's so beautiful. It's incredible.
It's exactly how it works. And I'm doing work in prisons, and we had one guy in particular. We've just one big prison in California, Vacaville. We've had probably almost 300 prisoners have taken part in the breathing program, and it's transforming the institution, the culture. It's amazing. And one guy in particular really stood out for me, who is very skeptical. He was a gang banger guy with tattoos on his faces. And, he was in prison for 20 years to life when he was 19 years old, hanging out with the wrong crowd, all that kind of stuff. But since he's been in prison, he's been really changing and growing and healing and improving himself. But he was still very skeptical. A lot of the guys around him were talking about, hey, you got to come and do this breathing thing. And he goes, it's that. And so he came and he observed, and he shared afterwards, going, are these guys making this stuff up? Is this like, they were crying, they're laughing, they're releasing, they're shaking, they're venting all this stress and trauma and stuff. And so finally he decided to try it. And after a session, it was really funny in a beautiful way. All he could say was, this shit is real. This shit is real. And he's now one of 8 guys that he's in a 1-year program. We're training them to be breath workers. So if and when they get out of prison, they can actually contribute to society in a really beautiful and powerful way. And in the meantime, they're transforming the people around them in the prison. So this stuff is real. And it works. It works on the battlefield. It works in the ring. It works in the boardroom. It works in the bedroom. It works in the classroom. It works everywhere. And it's going to be working in Romania in the end of May. So I hope anybody who's listening is planning on joining us, because we're just teasing you right now, but we're going to dive really deep. And the group is going to be small enough, manageable enough that we can give everybody individual attention. Yeah. And the group is going to be big enough that between or among us, we're going to cover a lot of things. So it's going to be juicy. I'm really looking forward to it, Michelle.
It's so beautiful. You just said that it helps you in any circumstances, anywhere, anyhow. And I can say for myself, I went through some difficult moments in my life in the past 15 years, since 16 years since I know you, we work together. And I have to tell you that breathing in certain moments no matter what happens around you, it helps you center. It helped me center, be right in my center, and gives you that type of peace and clarity of mind that you can bring the right judgment to what is good for me right now. So for me, for a human being, it's especially as you started this conversation in this moment in the world, it's the most important thing. No matter where I am, no matter what happens with me, I don't need any devices. I don't need any instrument. All I need is to regulate my breath, to know what to do, how to use it, so I can be centered. I'm in peace. I'm in acceptance. I'm released of any fear or anything, and I can have clarity. What am I supposed to do now?
Yay.
And
Yeah,
that
that's exactly the power of the breath. You
and
got
that
it.
is such a gift. So if somebody would ask me, if I wouldn't know anything, and somebody would ask me, would you like to have this gift? I would say, yes, of course. But yes, it's true. You need to work a little bit for this with yourself, first of all, and to introduce this practice in your life little by little at your own terms, in your own pace. But first, as Dan said, we are inviting you to come and join us. And this is one of the it's, I would say, the most real thing that you can touch it is your breath. You can master it, and you can gain control of your life. Like Dan said, in any aspect, no matter who you are, where you are, what type of work you do, what your desire is, where you want to reach, whatever goals you have, you can use the breath. So
There it is.
yeah, so
Okay, well, wow, this has been amazing. And
yeah,
God, I can't wait until the end of the May so we
yeah,
can
yeah.
really make this happen.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Dan. I'm so glad. And for everybody who was watching us, you can find in the link below the details. You can find my information, my phone number or email. You contact me. I'll give you all the details, the breakdown in the program. And no matter if you can do the whole program or the beginning or the end or the retreat, join us. It's very important to have this experience and take advantage. Dan is not every day in Romania, and he's here. He's going to be here with us. Thank you so much, Dan. And I'm looking forward to see you very, very soon. Thank you very,
Good.
very much.